Hi, I'm Myrna and I'm the author of Poetry's Promise, Poetry's Teacher, The Other Side of Tourism, Spirit of Queens, and I also have some poetry in an anthology of Black British poets called Black I Am. Today's poem is going to be recited in Jamaican patois because it's only when I recite it in that genre that I can get a real feel of the message I'm trying to convey. And I'll translate it at the end if you feel it needs to be translated, or you can just write comments if you don't quite understand what I was saying. Okay, it's called Check for Me. What a way you look nicey. So when the eye can come check you. But don't forget to put on the rice and peas and some of the Irish mustard. Boy, me can't wait for check you. I bet you're well sweet. But don't forget to put on the rice so when we come we can eat. It's why your face drops so. It's what? You can't cook or what? Oh no woman funny boy. Me can't understand you. Cha. What is it that you can't understand? Why I want to be checked as a woman and not as a flash in the pan? For my breeding capability, or even the fact that I can keep the place clean? I want you to check for me. Check that I have eyes. Check that I have ears. Check that I have hand and foot too. Check that I have feelings. I know that when you fill your belly, you're going to want to lie down beside me. After I put on the pot that is and clean up the mess you flick round the place. And when I say, leave me alone now, you get upset and say, it's who did die? Somebody must satisfy you. Why you don't want to make love to me? And I love that. You just want to finish me off and make it a good night. But me finish already. So good night, sweet boy. Good night. Yeah, so that poem, I tried to do it from memory, so I might have gone off a little bit. But I remember when that is all it was about, you know. The man would come around your house, and as long as you had food, that was his way of, you know, that was his invitation. You would feed him and then you would have sex with him, and sometimes he'd leave clothes behind and expect you to wash the clothes till he came back. There was no agreement. There was no introduction into the relationship. There was no questions asked. It just kind of happened. I'm not quite sure how it happened. I think obviously we were very naive, or it was the culture back then. But you would meet somebody maybe at a party or a dance. The next thing you know, you exchange a number. The next thing you know, they're in your house, they're in your bed. And it happened. Some of these relationships last years. Some of them are even still together. But the fact remains that that's how it was, at least in the 70s and 80s, for the majority of us growing up in London in the Lovers Rock era. So when I wrote that poem, that's what it was. I was making a stand against, you know, the men that just come to your house and they ask you, especially on a Sunday, because the traditional dinner was rice and peas and you'd have chicken. And then after you have the chicken, they'd expect you to just be ready for some romantic intimacy. They're not helping you to wash up the plates. They're not helping you to put away stuff. They're not even contributing to a meal. They're not bringing a bottle of wine. And you're supposed to be grateful and happy. So that was me speaking out against that. And it was called Check for Me. And you can find it in Poetry's Promise, which looks like that. It's not a very clear book, but it's called Poetry's Promise. So I hope you enjoyed that poem. There's more to come.